Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets. What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to send him beating at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
It's always a big
I would have guaranteed that AJ would be the one that wants to dump it on Sirianni.
Let's see.
And Devontae, and sneak your way.
Uh-oh. Good move there.
Oh.
Great maneuver.
A little okie doke. Oh!
The best shower Nick Sirianni will ever have.
Welcome to the Broken Bell Network's presentation of the Philly podcast. This week, Eric and Chris talk with special guest and Eagles superfan Ryan Quigley. Tonight, he'll take us on his journey and give us a first account look behind the scenes for the playoffs, including a seat at the Super Bowl and our big parade. Plus, we've got BG's retirement announcement, free agency moves, and more on tonight's episode. Now, your hosts, Eric and Chris.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Philly podcast. I am Eric. That is Chris. And in the bottom corner there, we got a special guest, Ryan Quigley, Eagles super fan. You probably seen him on the news. He was a big part of the Eagles. The parade, he was, part of it. Chris joked around with him behind stage saying how the team picked him up like a baby and brought him up onto the stage of the art museum. So with that, Ryan, welcome to the show, man. We're happy to have you.
Hey guys, appreciate you guys having me on. It's been quite a journey going through the playoff run with the Eagles, and happy to share it with you guys tonight.
Awesome. That is great. So walk us through it. Like when you first heard from the team about, that they were going to give you the tickets to the NFC Championship game. Like what was that all about, man? Like how not all about. We anyone who knows your backstory to it, they know about it. But what was that like? Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't you get handed the tickets from like Brandon Graham himself?
Yeah. So we originally went to the NFC Championship game. That was the first game we went to. It was me, my buddy Tiger's sister, and my brother and her fiance, and we went to the game. We met all the players. We were in the tunnel before they ran out, and it was right after the attack in New Orleans. It was like probably 3 weeks after, so we just got back to Philadelphia from New Orleans, and that's where we met the whole team, and we really just dove into the playoff run, starting with the Rams game, and then we got invited to what quote unquote was an invite to the practice facility for a tour, and then Brandon Graham surprised us with Super Bowl tickets at the facility. So it was one hell of an experience all around.
What is? I mean, I don't know how long you conferred with BG, but what is he like? Like for the few minutes that you were there with him, like, is he what he is like?
He is identical to what he shows the world that he is. I mean, what's special about him? We were probably there for about 3 hours, and BG spent he waited an extra 2 hours after his lift or his workout or rehab, whatever he was doing for his tricep. And he had lunch with us. So he literally, got lunch with us, sat with us, and I talked to him for probably an hour and a half in the facility after he got us the tickets. And when I was in line getting food, he was just going up to all the people in the lunch line saying hello, knew them on a first name basis. and he's just a special person, and like that's why you see all these special players throughout the league saying that like he's their favorite teammate. He's full of positivity, and it's just a guy that you'd love to be around on a daily basis.
Oh, that's that doesn't surprise me either to hear that. I mean, he came across that way. I know when Kelsey retired, he did the same thing. Like he went around, he knew every single person in that facility. Like he thanked the people that served lunch. Like I think he even thanked one of the janitors. Like he knew the guy, So
They knew them all, first name basis.
yeah. I mean, and that's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. So just so we have a little bit of, you mentioned the attacks in New Orleans. I know you had said backstage that you were, cool about talking with that. So if you could, if when you want to, you can dive into that if you'd like.
Yeah, 100%. So, I decided after Christmas to go down to Louisiana to go visit my buddy Tiger Besh, who I lived with and worked with. So we sat next to each other at work. We did everything together. We went to the gym together, went out together, we lived together, worked together. We went to the barber together, and we met. We played football at Princeton together. He was the first guy I met at Princeton in 2016. We graduated in 2020, and I went to go visit him in Louisiana 2 days after Christmas to go duck hunting because he was a big duck hunter, being from Louisiana. And I'd never been hunting, and never. It was like the one thing that we haven't done that we wanted to do. So I went down. We went 2 days in Louisiana, 2 days in Mississippi, and then we drove to New Orleans on New Year's Eve so we can get a direct flight back to New York. And honestly, we had such a great night together. We had a ton of fun. We were walking home out of the food place, and we didn't see the truck coming, and unfortunately, Tiger lost his life, and I'm just so grateful to be alive and to continue to share his story. I mean, he was my best friend in the world. I want to tell everyone that like he lived life so fully, full of positivity. Always had a smile on his face, had so much energy, and like my calling in life now is just to like continue to spread love and encourage others to live like him because he was one hell of a damn good time. I'll tell you that much.
That's cool. Like I was also, looking up, like he was a pretty good kick returner. He was all Ivy League for Princeton, right?
Stud. I mean, he was 5'8", 175 pounds. He benched 365 pounds.
God,
I know, it was insane. He benched 365. He squatted about 550, and he hand cleaned like 335. And he was the strongest guy out of all, like anyone on the team, including the lineman. And he ran a 4.4. He was the best receiver on the team. He made DB spin around, and he was a hell of a punt returner. I mean, hell of a football player, and he knew how to get after it off the field too.
I'm sorry. It's just no bullshit. Can you give those stats again? The weight and the bench.
Yeah, he benched. He was 175 pounds. He benched 365. He squatted 550, and he hand cleaned 335.
Okay, I thought you said that like you repeated those numbers perfectly again.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's not like you made that up.
No, he was a damn strong mother. I'll tell you that. He was insane.
Holy shit. Oh,
like
damn.
But honestly, such a great dude too.
Yeah, I saw you were a stud too. You were MVP when you were in high school as well, and you did well at Princeton. I needed to hear that guy's stats because holy shit.
And he was fast as that. He was if COVID didn't happen, I don't really know if he wanted to go to the NFL, but he was damn capable of doing it. He was such a stud, and he brought energy to just everyone. Like as soon as he met you or any stranger that he met, that person felt like they were his best friend. At his funeral down in January, down in Lafayette, Louisiana, his brother, Jack Besh, asked everyone in the, at the funeral, like, if you thought you were Tiger's best friend, stand up, and half the church stood up. It's just type of guy he was. He always would go out of his way to include the other, people that didn't feel included, or, always crack jokes. He was stubborn as shit, but like, he was one of a kind, and honestly my favorite person in the world. And I'm blessed to be here. It's a miracle I'm alive, and I'm just going to continue to tell everybody about who he was, and hopefully many other people can be impacted by hearing his story.
Was he an Eagles fan?
So he originally was a Cowboys fan because his uncle was a head strength coach for the Cowboys for 10 years. So like
wow.
he loved
That's allowable.
he loved football, but like he didn't really have a team, but he was a Cowboys fan because he was super tight with his uncle, and his uncle was.
That's a legit reason, man.
But his uncle left, and then he became a diehard Eagles fan with me because I brought him to every game 2 years ago.
So
he
happened. I've seen that. I've seen that.
He was a big Eagles fan by the end. Wanted to go to every game. Loved the link. Loved the atmosphere. And I promised him if they made it this past year, I was going to take him to the Super Bowl. And the Eagles and Brandon Graham helped me make that happen.
Yeah, so for the people, the voice of the person without the face is our intern, and for the record show, he can only bench press a Primo's hoagie. He cannot bench press 375 pounds.
I hope it's a pretty expensive or pretty heavy hoagie, dude.
I like how you really hyped me up. He knows the truth. I have to cut it in half to be able to get
right.
to get it up. But
make sure you don't put extra mayonnaise on
it's
that.
The mayo. It's the mayo does it in every time.
Yeah.
You know what it is. Empty calories, brother. Empty calories.
So so we're gonna recap. So you went to the NFC Championship game, and like I was a little nervous going into that game. I wasn't too nervous, but listen, you just things on social media. You listen to
we went to the Rams game, not the NFC Championship.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
Rams.
God, geez.
I went to the Rams game, and then the NFC Championship game. I was actually up in New York because we threw a party for Tiger on it. It was his golden birthday. He was 28 on the 28th. Okay. So I was up in New York, so I didn't make that one. But we were at the Rams one, and then we went to the Super Bowl.
The Rams one. We could talk about that one because that one was
right.
Saquon hit his head, dude.
Like it was like I aged. I was like I can't do this. Like I joked around like joking around like I need to drink, and then like I did a recap of what I drank. Like I drank like 4 beers during the Rams game. I don't remember the second game of the championship weekend because it was insane, how we were celebrating. And then the Super Bowl, I was over at Andy's house, and, we're going to cut the video during the return of me being a maniac. And then we went out and celebrated on Frankfurt and Copman. And, that Rams game, everybody in Philadelphia aged like,
yeah.
It was the Jalen Hurts getting bent back, and oh God, he just tore his knee. Like it was. Yeah. And then we're at I was like, and the first thing I thought about, and I was like, oh my God, we're gonna have another Nick Foles situation.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not ready to deal with the city of Philadelphia and their love for backup quarterbacks. And listen, we all love Nick Foles. He brought us our first championship, but it was that.
Got one hell of a nickname too.
What is it?
No, I'm never. What is it? What's the nickname? I've never.
You never heard of that? Why don't you show your face and I'll say it?
Oh, well played.
You'll stare me in the eye if I do it, right?
Yeah.
So what was the energy of the crowd? Because you gotta, if you go back and you look at the game, and it was just insane. Like the play where Saquon took off for the first touchdown and then just slowed down just to look at Jared Verse. Like I was going
awesome.
I was going nuts in my house. Like I was like, do it.
Big watch this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. The energy was awesome. So I mean, the best part about it was the snow. I mean, so that was obviously a Sunday game. I had surgery on Thursday. So I was like in serious condition at the game, but like there was no way in hell I was going to miss it, right?
Right.
But my knee was like the size of a basketball, and I was in a wheelchair, and like if you breathed on my leg, it hurt. So there was so much snow coming down on my jacket and my leg that it was starting to hurt my knee. But I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm staying. We're watching this damn game. And the atmosphere was awesome. Like obviously you could see from the start to the end, like the snow started to come down in at middle of the second quarter, and the atmosphere was awesome. I mean, it was rocking. I mean, there's no better place in the link to watch a sports event, in my opinion. I've been to many stadiums. I'm definitely biased, but like the link's just awesome, and you get an atmosphere like that during a playoff game in the snow. I mean, it was just one of the best games I'll ever see in person. And I actually left with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter because there's so much traffic and my knee started to bother me. But like, I go into the elevator and there's a TV right there in the elevator, and I'm looking, and that's when Saquon had his run where he was hitting his helmet, and I'm like, all right, game's over. They're up 2 touchdowns now. I get in the car and they're up. I get in the car, they're up 6, and the Rams had the ball at midfield. I'm like, what happened? I have no idea what happened. And I'm freaking out in the car, and then I hear Jalen Carter got that sack, it's 4th down, and I freaked out in the car. I went absolutely crazy till the point where I hurt my knee a little bit.
We have footage of you actually at the stadium. It looked like they really took care of you while you were there.
Yeah.
Had you hooked up to a machine and everything.
Yeah.
That's good of them.
Yeah, good. I think he's bald just like you.
I have a condition.
Yeah.
Calm down there, Jada.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like, and that's you think about it, like that Jalen Carter sack, like, we did a show that the following Wednesday, and I was like, that was a bold move leaving Jalen Carter 1-on-1.
Like, was. Yeah. with the game on the line in the snow. Plus, I don't know if you saw, but Higbee was wide open across the middle.
He was wide open.
Wide open.
Whoever I think it was Bond fell down.
Yeah.
It was like, thank God.
Thank God I wasn't watching it. I was just listening to Merrill Reese. Merrill Reese was just having a heart attack on the radio.
Oh, that guy's going to give himself a stroke during a game.
Oh, totally.
You guys notice that Merrill in this playoff run, if you listen to him, I'm not saying but you can hear the change in him over the years, but it's like he was a young guy again, calling these playoff games. You could hear he was crisper. Things were sharper.
Was great.
Yeah, he was.
Favorite thing about him was when he goes, "Philly, this is for you."
Yeah. And he has that emphasis on that too. He's got and he does that. I love it.
Yeah. I sat right next to him on the way home from New Orleans on the plane.
He looks like he smells like a good man. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, you got like that Old Spice, like
Yeah. We'll ask him what time of cologne he has. I'll totally let you know.
If you could sniff him the next time you see him and get back to us, that would be great.
I would.
Yeah. Hey Meryl, so I was on this podcast. I had to get a whiff.
Is that your car?
I simply understand.
Yeah.
No, he seems like a high karate type of guy. That's
awesome. But I love his dedication. His dedication to the Eagles.
I was just gonna say Sex Panther from Ron Burgundy. So you didn't go to the NFC Championship game, so that's where we got it wrong. So you said
I watched it here on the couch and had about a gazillion beers.
Were you by yourself or were you?
No, I was with two of my buddies.
Okay. That's again. There's, it's like those events. Like it's good to be with the people who can appreciate it. Like I was with my friends who were up in Warminster, and we got to the game. I called Eric. That was the Super Bowl, but but the NFC game, I got there. First thing I do, there's like 15 other people in there because he's got a big house and got a big basement. All Eagles. There's a cardboard cutout of Jason Kelce that I was making out with, and he's like, "Come on, we gotta do shots." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "What are you doing shots of?" Ruppelmans. What am I, 20 again? I haven't done Ruppelmans. I'm 47 years old. I haven't done a shot of Ruppelmans in 27 years.
He chased it down with Mad Dog and Boone's Farm.
Right.
Yeah, and a bunch of mayonnaise.
Yeah. Oh. and then so here I am. I'm 4 shots in the Ruppelmans. I'm 6 beers in, and we ran out of garage beer. So now I'm drinking Corona. And now we're doing shots of Fireball. Then they bring out the Eagles whiskey and everything else. And my wife's like, "We got to go."
Yeah.
Don't even remember leaving. I was looking at pictures the next day. He had my hat. He had my El Luchador hat on, mask on. He had my Eagles jacket on.
You probably look like the guy waking up at the hotel in Hangover with the tiger in the bathroom.
Oh, it was.
There are pictures of him passed out in the bedroom sleeping with Elmo.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
That was my
offline.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it was my bachelor party in Nashville, but it was my bachelor party in Nashville.
So, yeah, I mean, you're such a delight. I'm so glad I'm friends with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and it's like one of those things. It's like when you appreciate stuff like that, and you people who are who enjoy my fandom, because again, I know I'm out of hand. Keith knows I'm out of hand. I almost we're gonna get to that video in a few minutes. I almost broke his living room, during the Super Bowl during one of the things. But yeah, like it's when you have the people who appreciate it. It's great. Like this is like I'm gonna put the video up. It's coming up in a minute. This is from the day of the NFC Championship game.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. Yeah, like I know I'm ridiculous. I'm.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
so good.
Yeah, it's just who I am.
Yeah.
So
I want to go out with that guy.
Yeah. So let's get to the Super Bowl. Obviously, you get invited to the Super Bowl, you go down. So we saw it on TV. The Bradley Cooper introduction, and the floor is yours.
11 out of 10. I was actually on the field next to the team because Tiger's family, Tiger's siblings, he has two sisters and one brother. They did the coin toss. So I know how they did the EMS like honorees. They were the guys next to why am I drawing a blank on that Saints player? The Saints player that did the coin toss. Anyway, they were standing next to him, and so I was on the field and I was in the corner, like where where Jalen and all the players went down after they came out, like in the Chiefs end zone. But Bradley Cooper's introduction was 11 out of 10. I mean, the Chiefs came out first, and it was like, it was like it was a away game. No one was really cheering, and then Bradley Cooper started doing EA, and the place erupted. I thought the dome was going to come down. I mean, it was absolutely electric. The lights started to go off, and I knew it was over. I wasn't even worried. I mean, I wasn't nervous about the game, maybe because I had a bunch of other stuff going on, but I was much more nervous for the NFC Championship game than I was the Super Bowl. And I just knew this team was going to be ready. And honestly, I knew that D-line was going to absolutely demolish that offensive line. We didn't blitz once.
Yeah.
But it looked like it. How many times did you're like, oh, that was a no, it wasn't. It wasn't. They just blew coverage.
Yeah. That was Jalen Carter just going through your center and two guards for a sec.
Well, I wanted to get you because everyone saw that on TV, right? Eric, you saw it, and did that just pop? Did that stadium just pop the way I thought it popped?
It popped.
Okay. What? How long were you down there prior to the game? Like, did you just fly in, or were you there hanging around?
So we were actually at the NFL tailgate beforehand. The game was, I guess 6:30 Eastern time, so it was 5:30 Central time. We went in around 3:30, which was like right by where we came out. We were on the field for probably an hour and a half beforehand. I met the one of the EMS guys came up to me and was like, "You don't know who I am." And I haven't met this guy. He's like, "You don't know who I am, but I saved your life." And it was the guy that saved my life on Bourbon Street.
Oh shit!
And he came up to me, and I just broke down, and I lost it. And I met the police officers that killed the truck driver and the terrorist, and it was just a really humbling environment and time to like really just I was in shock. I didn't know what to say. I just started bawling, and then we went on the field for the pregame, and we met the president. The president was he came up and shook our hands. There was another family that was involved in the attack. The president came out, and then we were on the field for pretty much the entire pregame, and then the national anthem, coin toss, and then we went to our seats. But we were there for probably a good hour and a half or so, 2 hours.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember when they introduced the Chiefs, and all you heard was booing.
Yeah,
and then they had to play the chop to drown out the boos.
They had to transition that into it. The best was my favorite was late third quarter. All the Eagles fans started going, oh,
we are so we'll do that.
We'll
do the skull.
Who stood up? Who stood up on one leg and started doing it? Me, I did.
Well, that was the question. At any point, did it feel like it wasn't a home game? Like the vibe, like even pregame and all that stuff.
75% Eagles fans for sure. The only reason it didn't feel like a home game is because it wasn't the link. But away from that, it was absolutely a home game. It was a sea of green, and everywhere I went, it was just people yelling, "Go Birds!"
Right, and go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was like I'm with you. As soon as I heard Bradley Cooper's intro, I was like, "This game's over." I was like, "This game's over." I said that they just took the crowd just took the soul out of the Chiefs right then and there. Like there was no way the Chiefs could do anything for that. It was just pure domination from start to finish. I mean, even when they wound up getting 22 points, even though it was actually 40-6, but
yeah, they put the backups in. Then Xavier Worthy went for 2 bombs, but I thought the only time I was worried is after that first pass interference on AJ Brown. I was like, here we go again. I was like, I threw my arms up and I was like, no way is this happening. And then we went up 34-0, and I was like, this is awesome.
I dropped the biggest F-bomb in the world.
Yeah.
On that pass interference. So, but back to Bradley Cooper, I just remember sitting on the couch and you hear Bradley Cooper, and I just went, "Oh, we're winning!"
Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, Bradley Cooper coming out. He was actually in New Orleans all week, prior to that, in a in one of those trucks outside, food trucks selling his new cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
I mean, just another Philly legend. But he, I mean, him doing the introduction. I mean, they fired all the players up too, and I think all the fans knew, it was we were either losing or it was going to be a blowout, and it wasn't option one.
It was funny is I did a round table earlier in the morning with a bunch of other people from Philly's podcast, and we had a Chiefs fan on, and obviously we all had the confidence. But the one thing that we said was it was this defense is scoring a touchdown. I didn't think it would be Cooper DeJean.
But his first NFL touchdown.
Right. So on his birthday. Here's me in reaction to Cooper DeJean. And again, for the people watching, I know I'm ridiculous.
Oh my God.
And that would be my wife dropping the F-bomb.
Oh, I love how it was Saquon and Cooper's birthdays, both of them, and their numbers add up to 59.
Yep.
And if you did it was special for me because if you put the Tiger, who's obviously my best friend, into numbers alphabetically, so if A was 1, B was 2, 3, or C was 3, Tiger adds up to 59.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see that so I'm sure when you're on the field you're like, yo, I wouldn't be here in this moment if this wouldn't be I know that you go through that, but when you're there in the moment, you're finding purpose and reasoning behind things. Do you think that was a lot of closure for you when you were able to talk to the EMTs and stuff?
Totally. I mean, I'm happy. I still talk to them every day, and I still talk to a lot of the players too. I mean, I'm texting a lot of them here and there, and they're keeping up with me and my recovery. And honestly, I didn't want to ever go back to New Orleans, but if I didn't go back, I was going to let that guy win, and there's no way I was going to let that guy win. And I went down, and like I was taking my power back. You know, it was tough to be back in New Orleans, but like my buddy would want me to be there. I was there, and we had a big part in the whole playoff run with the Eagles, and I felt like we were just like dominating, just on this guy who did this evil act, and then the game as well. It was just such a surreal experience. Is to one be there, but to two be a part of the journey was just. It was just they truly made us feel like family, and that's just what they're all about. I mean, it's a world class organization. I mean, that's why they have so many passionate fans.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and it was. We joke like when we were talking about like what this Super Bowl meant for myself. We'll talk about myself, and then we can go to Eric, what it meant to him. For me, Super Bowl 52. While it was awesome, it was great. It was that, but my kids weren't old enough to really understand and soak it in.
Right.
And then my kids are now 17, 14, and 10, and my oldest and my middle got to experience the joy that I like. They could see, they understood what it meant to me, like how this, because again, regardless of what everyone thinks, it's still in the back of your mind. It's always like the Eagles are a team of destiny with what happened in New Orleans. Like this is what the city needed, and it just I was able to share with them. They came up and they hugged me after they dumped the Gatorade on Nick with 2 minutes. It wasn't even a 2-minute warning, and I was just standing there, and I was just like, I didn't cry like I did in Super Bowl 52, but the emotions were there, and they knew it, and like they came over, and they like embraced me, and my wife actually somebody took a really good picture of the three of us together. So what about you, Eric? I know you can explain your 52 journey.
Oh God, well, 52. That was, I mean, that whole season, like just amazing. But watching the game, I was at a small Italian club around the corner from the house where I was living at the time, like and with my dad, and it was just a handful of us, maybe like 7 or 8 people. And it's like I know Chris has heard this before. Andy hasn't heard this yet, but when the Eagles finally won, I just I just burst into tears, and like I never thought I'd see that. And my dad started hugging me, and he's like, I'm so glad you got to see this." And I looked at him, and I was like, "I'm glad you're here to see it," because it's like so many people have never gotten to see them win one. Like I have cousins and uncles that aren't here, didn't get to see one at all. So that was a very emotional night for me. And it was an emotional journey from 52. But then to this one, there was just something different, man. It was like I knew, like we were. I mean, you want to talk about underdogs? We were underdogs in 52, and nobody was talking about us in 59. None, nobody. And I was telling Chris a couple of weeks ago, my favorite thing about 59 wasn't even the game itself. It was the video you see of Jalen Hurts walking under the stadium, getting ready for like the one of the media nights, and he glances up and he sees everybody on the TV, everybody picking the Chiefs, and he just got that look on his face, and he just walks straight ahead, and he's got that bottom lip out, like, "All right, motherfuckers, like here we go, like you want to doubt us." So, and they just had a better team all the way around, and so I really went into 59 confident. Like I was more confident for 59 than I was in 52. I really was, and like I said, when Bradley Cooper had his intro, I was like, "That's it, solidified it. Stick a fork in the bitches now. It's over."
Over.
It was curtains.
It was. It was.
So where did you celebrate after the Super Bowl? I'm assuming you didn't leave 5 minutes early.
Me?
Yeah.
I actually went to the Eagles after party.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was awesome. Was with all the players. We were with Miles Teller, Zach Bryan, Big X. It was awesome.
Was that the one where Nick Sirianni singing "Let Them Talk"? Everybody's talk.
My prerogative.
My prerogative.
Yeah. So I was still in my wheelchair, but like it didn't matter. It didn't matter if I was in a wheelchair or not. I had so many drinks at the after party, dude.
I was just about to ask you, how do you play it cool?
I could have been running a marathon for all I know at that party. I mean, there was literally we went to 4 a.m. I mean, I had a flight at 6:30. I went right to the airport. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. But like,
God bless you.
Yeah, right. How do you play it cool? Alcohol, lots of alcohol. That's how you play it cool.
Yeah,
super confident.
I could say I played it. I definitely acted like I'd been there before, but it's it was hard. It was hard. Yeah. It was, but like I've gotten to at that point I've talked to like every player by then that I was just like catching up with them. I spoke with Saquon probably 9 or 10 times before I saw him at the after party, and it was just the whole thing was awesome. But the party itself was very well done, and it was at the hotel because it was at the hotel. I stayed at the hotel that they stayed at. It was the Hilton down there, so it was a lot of fun. I needed that.
Good. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not saying you deserve it, but with everything you went through, like you deserve to have fun and enjoy it, and you were able to celebrate it with the team and whoever you brought with you, which is again another phenomenal thing that the Eagles did.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'll tell you about a bunch of other stories offline, but yeah,
can't wait.
Can't wait. So let's get to the parade. So. I go to the parade. It was me, my wife, and my 3 kids, and we parked outside of Jetro, right by the link, and we saw the beginning of the parade. We saw them leave, and then we leave and go home, and I watched the rest on TV. Where were you at?
So I actually didn't go to the parade till like 12:30, 1 o'clock because I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't be around crowds. I mean, my knee was still super sensitive then, so. I actually went by the river here. I'm staying at like by 30th Street Station. So I went down the river walk to the back of the art museum, and because they let me into the art museum because I was supposed to sit in like the seats where the family and friends are, like in front of the stage. So I was being like escorted by a security guard on the I guess the north side of the art museum, and I was being taken to my seats. And they stopped me because the buses were going by, right? So all the buses are going by. I'm saying hi to all the guys, blah, blah, blah. And then Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, and Jordan Mailata saw me from the bus. They threw me a fireball shot off the bus, chugged that, and then they got off the bus, and then they were like, fuck you guys, he's coming with us. He's coming with us. So they brought me on the bus. So I wasn't sitting in the seats anymore. They brought me inside the art museum with them, and then they carried me in my wheelchair all the way down the Rocky steps, all the way down to where the podium was. And that's when, so I was literally, with the whole team at the podium, and I looked out, and there was 2 million people in front of me, and that's when Saquon, I said what's up to him again. He was like, I'm not speaking unless you speak with me, and I was like. Bet. Awesome. All right, I'm in. And then he looks at me and he's like, "Well, but what should I say?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. This isn't my time to shine, dude. This is yours." I go. You can invite me up, but I am not giving you advice what to say because it's not going to be the right thing to say. So,
hold on. Like, what am I saying, dude? You just ran for 2,000 yards, and you're asking me what to say?
You're asking me to form. Yeah, come on, man. You're asking me to form a couple sentences for you at the parade. No shot. No shot. You're at your MVP caliber offensive player of the year, and you're asking me what you should say at the parade for your first Super Bowl ever, and no way, dude. No way.
You should have said to him, go up there and yell, "I should be going to Disney World." No.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the shot. That's it. It's me, Kenny Gainwell, and him, but it was great. It was but yeah, he's been keeping up. I've been talking to him probably once or twice a week, once a week or so. And just keeping up with him. He's such a down to earth dude, and I'm just super happy for his success, man. I mean, he deserves the world, and I think everyone in Philly knows that.
Yeah, I mean, it's when me and Eric did our show last year after they signed Saquon, we had the people on social media trying to convince us. We had Dallas fans and Giants fans trying to tell us that Saquon was washed up, and we're like, oh, we put all this money into him, and we literally it went in our head for like maybe 5 seconds, and then left out.
Sure. He's total. You can just say that all you want. Just let him walk behind that offensive line for a year and see what happens.
And like it's funny because we always joked around, like you always joked around, like, oh my god, if Saquon came to Philadelphia and ran behind our offensive line, he'd run for 2,000 yards. Not really thinking he would do it, and he did it with ease. Like he did it with
I remember the show that you said that on, and I started to laugh, and I was like, Saquon Barkley would never be an Eagle, number one. I said, number two, I said, if he actually did run for 2,000 yards, I said, it would probably be the greatest season any running back an Eagle ever had as a running back. And sure shit, this guy became an Eagle and runs for 2,000 yards.
And best season ever. I mean, he's just different, man. He's so good. He makes the most difficult runs and the most difficult cuts look so easy. And I played, I played running back in college. I mean, I played running back my whole life, and like the way that he just the vision he has, and the way that he can just sniff out a hole and explode through it is just. It's just obviously I think he's the best running back in the NFL, but the way he does it makes it look so effortlessly, and he's going to be up there with the greats for sure when he's done playing.
Ryan, I've been playing Madden for over 30 years. I have, and I've never seen a mid-year release ever in Madden where they have to update the game to add a move a player did in one random game.
Did they do that in Madden this year?
Yeah, they put the Saquon hurdle.
No way.
Yeah, they did.
And that's like you joke around like the 2,000 yards and the way he runs the ball. I can't do that in Madden, but so.
Yeah, even Madden doesn't think it's realistic, so they kind of prevent it from happening.
We just talk about how insane that hurdle was, man. I was right there watching in the stands. I was row 10 behind the Eagles, and like I look and I go, did he just do that? And he's like, you couldn't even. It was the crowd was so silent because they were in shock. It wasn't even like people were cheering. Like everyone was so quiet. It was insane.
I remember watching it, and Andy the intern, I texted him, and I was like, did you see that? And my wife was doing something. I was like, you need to stop and watch this right now, because I don't know what the hell he just did. He just jumped a grown-ass man backwards.
After doing this, after breaking a tackle, and then hitting the guy with the stanky leg spin. I mean, just...
and then was still looking to see where he could land and run. So, right. Andy, tell us your story about the Saquon hurdle. Is he not there?
I guess he's taking a break.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
yeah. So it was again. Like you said, it was the greatest play. That had to be added into Madden. It was, I think they said that was the best 14-yard run ever. And I think what made it even better is I'm almost positive Tiki Barber was one of the color analysts during the game.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And he caught it right out of the back. I mean, dude, it was most impressive play I'll ever see in person for sure.
And then just like
you have to make a montage. You have to make a montage of like, hey, like that, and say, hey, kids, don't try this at home. It's like Impractical Jokers. It's like it's like ridiculousness. Like you don't try this at home.
Hey, we have our own Impractical Joker here. No, no, and the great thing about that is it was the reaction of grown men on the sideline, like Reed Blankenship going like this.
Yeah,
and Jordan Davis, who looks like he's 6'7", is like
he's like this.
Did he just do that?
Jaw dropping? Yeah, I know.
Like that was insane.
He's different, man. And I would say he's got a bright future in Philly, man. I don't see how he come back and next year might be better than this year, man. He's just that type of guy.
Yeah. That was bananas.
Speaking of next year, What do you think of Howie's moves and makes and shuffles? And are you one of these fans that we always hear on that they just put on the air on sports media that have been, I don't know what they're doing and this doesn't make no sense. Like where's your thoughts? And you have season tickets, right?
I don't have season tickets now. I just bought tickets every game when I came down from New York.
You probably will get them next year. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Like, are you happy? Do you think this is typical Howie stuff, or are you like a little miffed that they're letting guys go walk cheaply?
No, I mean, I mean, if I'm being totally honest, I have no idea. But my thoughts are that you have to pay your superstars, right? So they paid AJ Brown, Devontae, Jalen, Saquon. You're going to have a big contract in Jalen Carter next year. You're going to have to pay, you're probably going to have to pay Jordan Davis. You just paid Bond. And they have a very young defense. They're the youngest defense in the NFL this year. And they did that through the draft class last year and it proved to be very successful. So I think by getting getting a bunch of draft picks, I don't hate the moves. I mean, a lot of the guys that you would have to pay are getting paid numbers that we probably wouldn't be able to pay them. So it's just obviously at the end of the day, it's a business. But I really don't mind him because I think Howie's proven to have a lot of success in the draft, and there's a lot of talent in this year's draft class in the DBs, and I said so we might pick up a safety, might draft a corner. I mean, we have a solid linebacker core, and maybe one D end. I mean, you only need three, maybe two or three core more guys on the defense to really have like a really, really solid defense like we did last year. So, and you have a ton of draft picks. I mean, you have 20 draft picks in the next 2 years. So,
which is wild,
nuts. So I don't hate. I don't hate the decisions. I think. I definitely think that he's thinking. He's playing chess and not checkers, and he's thinking 3 steps ahead.
Yeah, I also think, and Eric, you can chime in on this. I was like, the big trades that happened with CJ and letting the other guys walk is, I think what drove Howie to make that trade was the Milton Williams signing, because that did nothing but absolutely screw the Eagles with Jalen Carter. Like,
yeah.
And listen, Milton Williams is a good player. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm glad he got his paycheck.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's worth $26 million a year.
He's not. See, he was a stud this year, but like you could never pay him that, and you sold him at the right time, at his high. You sold Milton Williams at his high. He's the highest paid, D tackle or non QB in the NFL right now, which is good for him. But like he, look at Javon Hargraves. We let him go at his high, and like that guy is a free agent, like just signed for like a 2-year, $15 or $20 million deal. Like, I'm not saying Milton's going to do that, but like you got rid of Milton at the right time, and you have other guys like you have Ojomo, and you have who proved to be very successful. With the snaps that he was given, and you have now you're going to have Nolan Smith and the rest of the Georgia Bulldogs defense, and you're going to draft some young guys. And you're going to have them develop under these guys, and it's like a constant cycle. So I actually kind of like what Howie's doing.
Yeah, and that's like with Mekhi Becton, everyone wanted him to sign him. I was like, he wanted a 2-year deal. You have to sign Juergens next year. Juergens and Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Eric?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Ryan is definitely right. Like I think Howie Roseman had the plan, and I think the Eagles. Well, Howie's willing to take a year or two of like a year of pain for long-term success, short-term pain for long-term success. There was one guy that I really wanted them to resign, which was Zach Bond, and he went and did that. That was the one guy I wanted him to sign. The one move that surprised me that they let happen was letting Isaiah Rodgers sign elsewhere, because I know he really wanted to start, and with Slay leaving the nest and going to Pittsburgh and then trading CJGJ, like there was space. But no, I mean like Ryan hit the nail on the head too. In the next 2 years, they got 20 draft picks, and Howie's just going to rebuild through the draft, and he's going to hit the bargain bin for the guys for depth, because technically right now, I mean like none of our like major starters are gone. Our core is still there. like on defense because he didn't have to do anything on offense. Everybody's locked up, so it's just really, yeah, no, I'm totally fine with how he's doing. I've learned to not doubt him. I can kind of go, okay, well, I would have tried to do something there. But I heard an interview that Justin Reed, the safety that they were in on,
Yeah.
he did an interview the other day, and he was asked. I think it was Kay Adams or some, I forget which female reporter it was, but she asked him like how serious was the talks with the Eagles, and he said, "Oh, it was definitely serious." He said it was something that happened. He said,
He said
we
he was
just
close.
yeah, he said it was real close. He said they just couldn't, get around their cap situation. He said, but he said it was almost a done deal. And I was like, wow, which kind of made me laugh because you just got rid of CJ and you're in on Justin Reed. But I mean, that was a real conversation that they were having. That almost happened. So I mean, it's not like he's not trying. Like he's making moves and he's trying to
Yeah.
make moves. You know,
What are your guys' thoughts on AJ Dillon signing?
I
It's a
love
lot
it.
of quads.
Yeah,
That's a lot of meat, man. I mean, that guy, he's squatting 6'15" in high school. I think he's going to complement Saquon very well. Very,
he's going
very
to
well.
compliment.
And you're going to have, I mean, imagine the tush push with Saquon and AJ Dillon, man. I mean, it's going to be unstoppable.
Like it's so funny. It's just like it's like they're gonna like the defenses are gonna have a lot of bruises the next day when they face the Eagles. Like they just are.
Yeah,
They could build it.
You got Saquon running on you, and then you get a break for AJ Dillon.
You could build the new Sixer Stadium on each of their quads, and the parking lots would have enough for overflow. I feel like there's I think we said it before. I think it was like the thought of getting Saquon on this team was like having Crosby like come to the Flyers, right? It's just you shit talk him. He's a giant. He's a penguin. You shit talk them, right? It doesn't matter. But everyone wanted Saquon so badly. I'm not saying people don't want Crosby, but people are very more willing to say, yeah, I'd rather take Saquon. But now that he is here, it is amazing how quickly we're like, dude, you always should have been here. And as a matter of fact, we feel like you have always been here, and it doesn't matter what you do wrong at this point.
Right. You fit right. Yeah, you fit right in. He fits right in. I mean, he's from PA. Obviously, went to Penn State, and like he was meant to be here. It's just we didn't have the 4th overall pick, in the whatever year it was 2017 or 18.
Yeah.
But
losing BG, we really needed this transition for them to handshake off, and for Saquon, like the face of like, look, we lost Kels. But BG
he's taking the reins. He's taking the reins. Yeah, it's great. And like, can we just quick question? How did the Giants?
No, go ahead. I'm biting my.
We love you right now. Oh my god!
You want to take it? I think we're gonna say
go drop it, bro. You're the man.
Go.
So three for 37. 3 for 37 for Saquon, and they let him walk, and they just signed Darius Slayton to a 3-year, $36 million deal. Listen, I could not know football, but I would know that the Giants up in New York are up to no fucking good, and I'm super thankful that guy is still in office. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, by the way, why don't you record us saying this shit?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, so I was just like when you were gonna get done talking, and I was like, I'm gonna turn to Eric, and I was gonna bring this up because he sends me this text message. He's like, look at this. He's like, they are the worst run organization in football
ever.
And and for like the last year, I've been saying, I get it. They couldn't sign Saquon. They couldn't afford him, and I get it. I just don't know if I would have went on national TV and said it out loud. And then I'm like, oh my God, Saquon broke Hard Knocks. Like, no one's doing off-season Hard Knocks because they look like the idiots they are. And then I'm like, now they really look like idiots with this Darius Slayton signing, and so do I, because I'm like, they couldn't afford him.
They couldn't afford him.
And then they gave Darius Slayton that contract. I was like Eric was more mad about it than I guess Saquon was.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's just continue to be thankful that they're still around and they're still doing their thing.
I'm surprised you guys don't have the video of me going off on last week's show about it because I had a moment. I think I had an aneurysm. I really do. That was crazy.
Wait, real quick, Eric, has anyone ever told you look like Adam Sandler?
All the time.
All the
I
time?
get him all the time, all the
And-
time, and I get who is it from Jokers?
Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, well, yeah. Who is it?
Oh, yeah.
I forget his name. I forget his name.
Listen,
But
we were
Sal.
Sal.
That's it.
We,
Sal.
we were at a bar in New Jersey, Wildwood, and these girls came up to us and were like, "Are you Sal from Impractical Jokers?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely is."
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
like, and they're like, "Can we get a picture so who they are on their Snapchat?" I'm like, "Oh my god, are you gonna buy us drinks?"
My buddy Eric. That's so good.
God.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was
So-
like, you girls can buy me drinks. How about that?
Yeah.
So, now, like we spoke earlier, we discussed the playoff games you were at, the Super Bowl and the parade. Now we're going to turn it over and you can tell us as much as you want about Tiger. If Andy's got any questions about it, if Eric's got any questions, the floor is yours. We want to know. I'm gonna cut this tonight, and then I'm gonna post it out on social media. But I want you to tell us about Tiger.
I appreciate that. Yeah, he was we were the same person, man. We traveled the world together, like we were literally twins. Like same person, same, we went out. It could have been a Tuesday night at 2 a.m. and we could have been in New York City and our friends could have been like, "Hey, there's a good band up in Connecticut," and we were going. I mean, we just couldn't say no to anything. We were always out and about. Like he brought a lot of joy to people's life, and he lived life like so fully. His sister just keeps saying that Tiger always would, take the flight, book the trip, and like he would always go home and like tell his family he loved him. I mean, on New Year's Eve before the accident, we had dinner with his parents, and he literally told his parents, he's like, "I love my life. I wouldn't change anything about it." And I had the best year of my life. And like I encourage others to do the same, and just I want to encourage others to continue to just like live in the moment because like we had we had the perfect life. We were happy. We worked hard. We played hard. We were in our late 20s, just having a blast. And this event changed our life. I mean, we didn't obviously can't anticipate something like this, but anyone who's listening, just continue to love, think about, do your day to day and be successful in it, whether it be work or, with family or school. But like, just think, just think outside that, like, there's so much more to life than what you're doing in that day, and just kind of enjoy the present moment because you never know when your last breath's going to be. And I know Tiger lived that way. So he left a lasting impact on millions of people. After this story has gone, nationwide, and he was best person I've ever met, and he was full of love, full of energy. And I appreciate you guys having me on because my only goal is to continue to try to share his story and his legacy, and you guys are helping me make that happen, so I appreciate that.
I mean, we're happy to do so too because it's a story worth being told, and he's a person that people definitely need to know more about.
Yeah, my goal is to just introduce him to as many people as I can, and try to encourage others to live like him because you never know when another tragedy like this is going to happen, and nor did I ever think I'd be a part of a terrorist attack, but it happened, and I'm grateful, and God kept me on this earth for a reason, and part of that reason is to continue to share his story and legacy, and hopefully it impacts others, and they can kind of think about it and maybe have a change in their life in a positive way. So I appreciate it very much.
Is there any fund or anything scholarship being set up that you can like plug right now? We would love to get out there. Or is there something that's gonna, or if there will be in the future, get to us?
There's a memorial fund. We're working on putting a name to it. I think we're thinking about Seven to Heaven because his number was 7, but we're thinking about it, and I'll let you guys know. There's definitely a link, but I know we're working on the process of like maybe connecting it to a charity or memorial fund or maybe a Princeton scholarship or something. So I don't think that's because Princeton doesn't do scholarships. It's all like based off like academics. They don't have any. It's all financial aid. But we'll figure it out and I'll let you know. So
awesome.
Perfect.
I
Thanks.
appreciate
do you know,
you.
like looking at him in this picture, do you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Taysom Hill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot smaller than Taysom Hill, but I bet you he pushed a lot more weight around than Taysom Hill did.
So I was looking at his pictures earlier, and I was so when you had told me his size, I was like, I believe the 175. I really truly did, but when you told me this dude must have been just like all core. Like what did he?
Dude, core, chest. I mean, he was benching at 315 his senior year of high school, man. I mean, it's just like he was just a freak of nature. And his brother Jack, for everyone listening, his brother Jack is going to be a second or third round, probably a second round draft pick, maybe late first this year. He's a receiver for TCU, just dominated at the combine this year. And he's going to be in the NFL next year. And I think he's 6'2", 215. He had 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns this year for TCU. He originally started playing at LSU. He was a freshman All-American with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. And he had the most receptions on the team that year. So he's going to be in the draft this year, and we'll be down in Louisiana at the end of April for that draft party. Tiger's biggest dream was to see his brother play in the NFL. He was his brother's biggest fan, and I'm kind of taking Tiger's role in that. Stepping into that space for Tiger. So, definitely keep your eye out for Jack, man. He's going to be a problem the next couple of years.
Yeah, I'll actually have to send it to you because I actually posted the video of his brother catching the game-winning pass in the Senior
Oh, it's a
Bowl.
Senior Bowl?
And the interviews afterwards, and on the page it got a lot of hits, so it was like a lot of people.
There were 7 seconds left too.
There was
7 seconds left. It's funny.
Yeah.
The quarterback was a Memphis Tiger as well. So it was a Memphis Tiger, scored with 7 seconds left. He got MVP of the game, and I'll send you the photo. But in the clouds, as he scored the touchdown, the clouds literally said Tiger.
Get out of here.
Swear.
Isn't Memphis where Kenny Gainwell went?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, what was he like?
I was in Howie's ear trying to get Howie to draft Jack, so I'm hoping that happens. I'm like, Howie, dude, Jack Bash. He's like, this is right before the Super Bowl, and I'm like, dude, I don't care about that. Jack Bash.
So what was Howie like?
Howie was, very nice guy, very straight to the point. He had a lot on his mind. It was before the Super Bowl, but he greeted us at the front door of the NovaCare complex, and he's a blast to be around. Obviously, you saw him at the parade. He was great to be around. Exactly what you'd expect, and I'm just grateful for everything that him and the rest of the organization have done for us.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Happy to hear that.
Yeah, but I appreciate you guys having me on.
Listen, we appreciate you coming on. You have our numbers. Anytime you wanna come on, you're more than welcome. Anybody you want to talk about, anybody that we can plug, you let us know. Shoot us a text. We'll be looking out. We do a live draft show, so we'll definitely be looking for Tiger's brother to find out where he's drafted.
Hell yeah! Hopefully it's somewhere in the Northeast.
Right.
Yeah. So you keep listen. What do you have left? Like what are your? Let go through what you have left to get yourself back to 100%.
Yeah, I'm doing physical therapy right now, so I'm trying to I just had my second knee surgery. So I just started walking. I'm still limping, but I'm trying to recover my ACL, my meniscus, and I have physical therapy for my knee for at least probably the next 4 or 5 months. But away from that, my back's doing a lot better. I mean, I'll probably have to get the scars on my face touched up by a laser, but my face is looking better, and it's just my knee. So I've been doing physical therapy for 5 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week for about an hour and a half each time, and then it's just about getting my mind right to go back to work, go back to New York City, and start crushing life again.
Is that where you live, New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I deal with all the fans up in New York that are pissed that Saquon left, and I'm shoving it right in their face.
As you should.
Listen,
it's not even a hard argument, right? You like
it's not.
You don't, right? You just go like, I don't. You're mad at me? You're mad at our team for picking up a great deal that you guys said no to? Like, it's not even like an argument.
I told someone the other day, I was like, no, dude, you're right. I totally would have chose Darius Slayton over Saquon as well.
Right. You have to start having stupid conversations with stupid people, and then you just don't. You realize, okay, this is how they're going to be. Great.
Yeah, no, he's going to be. You guys are going to win the Super Bowl next year for sure.
With Tommy DeVito, I'll have to trim that clip and I'll have to send it to you if Eric loses his mind over that signing.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, listen, I got into a Twitter war with Sean Marash from The Fan, who did nothing but bash Saquon all season, and he's. Sean Marash is not someone who should be talking sports in general.
Yeah. Did you win or no?
He blocked me.
Oh, you won.
So you won. You won. Yeah. Right. Before you head out, and you've been amazing, dude. I love the way you talk about football. You can just tell you're so nonchalant about what you're saying. Like it's very clear. So, can you summarize your thoughts on the Jalen thing? Right. You haven't said Jalen's name at all. I want to know what he's like first of all. Because there's a media frenzy for Jalen's not personable and Jalen's not this and Jalen's not elite. Break it down for us, bro. I love your spin. So spin it.
Jalen is he was as cool off the camera as he is on, man. I mean, I only said hi to, I didn't get to know him as much as I did the others. Like I talked to him once, and he just gave me a wink and a point at the parade. But like, man, that guy is yeah. But like, you know what? I didn't mind it, man, because like that guy had one thing on his mind is bringing that freaking Lombardi trophy home, and so many people in football get so carried up on the stats and the touchdowns, and like, man, it's so true. That guy doesn't give a shit about any of that except winning the damn football game, and like that's who you want as your damn quarterback, man. I mean, you could. I'd rather win a Super Bowl and have 2,000 passing yards than 10,000 passing yards and not bring home that ring. I mean, like, I think the majority of people would say that, and like he understands that, and like the adversity that he's overcome, Alabama being benched in the national championship and going to Oklahoma to be a star and like getting drafted as a backup and coming in, like that guy just knows that hard work always wins, and he's shown that, he's proven that, and like, man, I couldn't be happier that he's a champion because like he deserved every bit of it, and like he's just a cool dude, man. I mean, he would just smoke a cigar in front of you and say, "What's up, man?" And that's about it. Like he's exactly the same off the camera as he is on. And by the way, him smoking that cigar picture with that trophy is the coolest photo I've ever seen.
Oh, it really is.
It's funny because like my wife said she was like one of her teacher friends like texted her and was like, I didn't know the Eagles were a hot team. So I'm gonna ask 2 questions, and then if anybody else has any questions for you, let you go. What was it like seeing the Dagger live?
Oh, the Dagger. The Dagger. The Dagger. That shit was sick. It was honestly, I'd like to talk about the Cooper Jean pick six real quick.
Go for it.
Cooper Jean pick six. I have a video of me and Tiger's sister's fiance, who I'm super close with. His name is Jordan. Going absolutely berserk. I don't know if you've seen the video.
I have.
Isn't that the sickest video ever? I mean, that was us waiting for the pick six, and like you could just tell it sucked the life out of anyone who was wearing red in that stadium. There was a Chiefs guy sitting right in front of me, and as soon as that happened, I just hit him with the
Did you see the video of the watch party that they had? The Kansas City Chiefs had a watch party.
No, I didn't.
And
That's a great video.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
it's literally they're outside, like they're in Kansas City, Missouri, if my wife's watching, and they showed a pick six, and you just see the crowds like this, and there's one guy, one Eagles fan, going nuts during the whole thing, and I'm like, that dude's a legend. He's an absolute legend.
Absolute legend, dude. That's awesome. Wearing Eagles jersey at the Chiefs watch party. It's freaking awesome.
In Kansas City.
Honestly, one of the worst, or not the one of the worst. One of the craziest parts about the game was, they showed who was it? They showed Bradley Cooper, and everyone was going nuts during the game, like on the big screen in New Orleans. And then they turned to Taylor Swift, and the whole stadium booed her, dude. I mean, it was like she couldn't catch a break. Like, they put her on thinking, like, oh, like, she's obviously Taylor Swift. But, like, that's when I knew it was a freaking home game because the entire stadium went, boo.
When we saw
such
that
a Philly thing, right? It's not like they even hate Taylor Swift. It's not even that. It's just we know you're here for your boyfriend, who is Jason Kelsey, and we're playing
Travis,
him in
Travis.
I also loved how Jason was like, is this even a question? Of course I'm rooting for the Eagles. I love my brother, but yeah, I don't. Why would you even ask me that question? He said, get that camera out of my face.
And then the second question that I want to ask you is the halftime show. What did you like? What were your thoughts on it? I assumed you watched.
I didn't. I heard it was a lot. It was a lot cooler because I saw a video later, watching from home, than it was in person. You know,
it was definitely made for TV. Yes,
it's 100% made for TV. Like walking up and back around the whole, like, because he's walking into the camera the entire time. So like watching it at home or he's walking on this like big like gray floor for like the whole length of the football field, and like I'm not a big Kendrick Lamar fan, so like I was like, you know, what the hell am I watching? You know what I'm saying? But like honestly, the coolest part about it was like seeing away from the camera, you could see all these like side people doing, and they were all in sync. So I guess that was cool. But like I'm not a big Kendrick fan, so like I would have much rather had like, I don't know, Chris Stapleton or someone out there.
There you go. There you go. There's a country guy.
Yeah, country or hip hop, but like I don't know. And I don't hate rap. I listen to rap sometimes when I lift, but like it's the scene itself is made for TV than it was in person.
Yeah, it definitely was, because I remember watching the Crip Walk, and I'm like, why does that girl look familiar? And then like Twitter's like, that's Serena Williams. I'm like,
the only thing I remember from the halftime show was that there was someone one of his guys who was holding one of those flags out. Did you guys see that?
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't take kindly to that.
No, they decked him. I mean, they took him. They decked him like Milton Williams took down Mahomes on that fumble.
Oh God, that's another one, the iconic with Jalen Carter absolutely destroying him.
So good, yeah. It was one hell of a game. I think I remember every play from the Super Bowl, man, and I had definitely more than one beer.
I remember every play. You know,
it's great.
It was but I'm like, it was like 27. It was like 24-0 at halftime, and I'm like, nope, don't even look at me, don't touch me, don't
touch me. Yeah. The best part about it is all my friends from New York and friends who just don't watch football that much are like, I wish it was a better game, and I'm like, nope, I don't. I was thrilled that it was a blowout. Couldn't have asked for a better game.
People sit there, oh, this Super Bowl sucked. You're absolutely right. If you are not an Eagles fan, this game sucked.
Yeah, this game sucked. If you weren't a diehard Eagles fan,
and I appreciated it. I couldn't after my heart couldn't take another Rams Eagles game in the Chiefs, and I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
As much as America wanted, I think, the Chiefs to eat shit, I really did. I really think America as a whole, when they look at it, wanted the Chiefs to eat shit. I don't think they wanted them to eat shit to the point where the game was boring to them.
Right. And honestly, it was 24-0, and we were up 10 in 2 years ago, and I wasn't until they were getting the ball at halftime. Like you said, I was not satisfied until like probably towards the end of the third quarter.
Right, and then Jalen was like, "You sure?" If you watch the mic up, he's like, "You sure?"
I love that
You
video.
sure?
I was like,
Yeah,
that dude wanted to drop a 60 burger on him.
he absolutely did, and he could have. The best part about it was that Nick was like, "Yeah, run it," like really, because they thought they were getting the ball back. It was 24-0 or was 27-0.
27-0, yeah.
27-0 is like, should we call it? He goes, call it. The dagger.
Yeah, and then it was funny because you got Saquon's like, "We're up 40 points. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, Saquon's like, "Bro, we're up 40 points. We're good."
Yeah.
Jalen's like, "Nah, I've heard it. I want to run this score up. I
want
them to eat shit."
Feeling. I remember that feeling 2 years ago, man. Eat shit and let's go. Let's put another 40 burger on him.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Again, thanks for coming on. Thanks for answering. Our messages. You're a friend of the show now. You are always open. Anything you want to ever come on and plug for Tiger, you let us know. You got 10 minutes, you got 20 minutes, however long you need. The platform's yours. You just let us know, and we'll make sure. Listen, there's a bunch of us on this network who will make ourselves available for whatever you need to push on social media, on air. And like I said, we'll clip this and then we'll download the Tiger part and we'll put that all over social media for you. Whatever you
I
need,
appreciate it, man.
we're here for you.
Even if you want to just come on, even if you want to come on and just talk ball, we're cool with that too,
Absolutely.
man. Do whatever.
Dude, I would love to do that. Not enough people in this world talk ball anymore, man. That's what it's all about.
It's funny because like last year we like I said we take time off from if the Eagles we did the wild card round last year and the Eagles were out, so we didn't do anything until the Super Bowl, and then literally we did a show I think up until the parade, and then it was like, all right, well, we're gonna take some time off, and we took 1 week off. And then we were back doing this again. And it was just like, oh man, and I, again, we created this as a hobby for us. We started in 2019. We had 43 followers. We now have 65,000 followers. And, we are now hoping to build this platform and support anybody who wants to come on and talk sports, talk whatever it is you want about Tiger. That's why we're here.
Means the world. And, to have that platform to continue to share his story, and maybe another time I'll come on just to share some stories about him, or tell you about some times that we went to the Eagles games together, and I got kicked out of one of the Eagles games because I was yelling at some 49ers fan who was an undercover cop, so we can talk about that.
Which 49ers game?
It was the one where we lost at home.
The one
blowout?
Last year?
During the regular season, the complete blowout. I got kicked out, and then I left at the halftime.
We were there.
We were
there.
Yeah.
We were literally sitting with all 49ers fans. We were right behind their bench.
Yeah, I went up to get end of the first quarter. I went up to get a beer, and I just yelled very aggressively in the guy's face. I was like, "Boo!" The guy was wearing a 49ers jersey. He was an undercover cop, and he dragged me underneath the stadium to where wherever the detention place was. They kicked me out, and I had to take a 4-hour alcohol class and pay $250 to go to any NFL stadium again. Did it.
Clearly.
I know people. I was in a parade once. Let me back in.
Yeah. Listen. Just take a look at the video, guy. Come on.
I know Saquon. We're friends.
Oh.
Well, again, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you having on, and like I said, we'll help spread Tiger story. Andy, Eric, anything?
No, man. I mean, look, this was just a fun show. I mean, I was like, dude, I can't wait to have you on. I was like, this is going to be a great story to hear. I mean, your side of everything, and talk about Tiger and your experiences from New Orleans up to the Super Bowl and the parade. So, I mean, again, I just want to thank you for coming on and sharing.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Ditto with sharing. Like again, please share with us the scholarship and the fund for his memory. But more importantly, thanks for just talking really good football. Like it is very difficult to find someone who is passionate but also knowledgeable.
Right.
And like I said, the fact that you understand what the defense is going through and you're not panicking and you're not doing any of those things is just like, all right, he's all right with me. So I appreciate you, bro.
Totally, you got it, man. I'll see you guys soon. I'll definitely be back on. And again, thanks for helping me share his story, man. It means a lot to me.
And you know what?
Absolutely.
You know who we'll get to come on here? So 2 weeks ago we did a show with Micah Parsons' brother Terrence. So we'll have to bring you on and
That'll be interesting.
That'll be
Oh,
interesting.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Just say my name.
Yep.
There you go.
Nice
Let's
little
go.
Cowboys Eagles banter.
Oh, that would be great, dude.
So yeah, we definitely do.
Dude,
Cowboys week.
the last time you guys won a Super Bowl, I wasn't even born. That'd be great. I'll get a couple lined up for that show.
Micah's about to make JJ cry into $100 bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right. Well.
All right, guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Eric. Take us out.
All right, everybody. Thank you once again for joining us on the Philly podcast. Again, we come to you live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. exclusively on the Broken Bell Network and off of our Facebook page of Philly podcast. Ryan, again, thank you for coming on. It has been absolutely real. Andy, the intern, thank you for producing the show for us tonight. Chris, thank you for staying ugly. Everyone, we'll have a good time later on. See you next time.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets. What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to send him beating at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.